Chuck Norris is dead, but I still can't believe it. I always thought he'd be the kind of guy who'd live till he was 106 or something. Chuck wasn't exactly the kind of actor critics loved, but fans adored him. Despite only making 6 movies in the last 26 years, the action star has remained relevant, thanks to a string of hilarious internet memes and satirical factoids that joke about his toughness. How cool is, when Chuck Norris left for college, he told his father that he was now the man of the house? Or, Chuck Norris has already been to Mars. That's why there are no signs of life there. To celebrate his life, let's remember his best movies. Forest Warrior, 1996. If you were asked to guess whether Chuck Norris has ever been in a fantasy movie, you'd deny it. Such a genre just doesn't seem like something he'd be interested in, right? Wrong. The celebrated action star is a, guess what? Ghost in Forest Warrior. And he can morph into a bear, wolf, eagle, and a few other animals because he is now in the afterlife. Jebediah McKenna is his name. He was killed off by lackeys from a lumber company for refusing to sell his land. Now his spirit has returned, ready to protect the precious Tanglewood Forest against a logging conglomerate. I can't help but wonder whether this idea came from Chuck Norris himself or his brother, Aaron. Whoever is responsible deserves a heavy roundhouse kick because the plot is ridiculous. However, Forest Warrior is a necessary film, especially in the modern world that's being weighed down by climate change, since it champions environmental conservation. So ridiculous is the movie that Chuck Norris doesn't even defeat the primary antagonist by putting a bullet in him or kicking him into the next room. He transforms into a bear. You are better off watching than being told about it by me. Top Dog, 1995. I've always been obsessed with dogs, and as a little boy, Inspector Rex, in syndication, was one of my favorite shows. Unsurprisingly, I was so blown away when I saw Top Dog. In the classic man and dog tale, daredevil lawman Jake Wilder, Chuck Norris, is partnered with Reno, a police dog, whose previous handler was murdered. The two go on to investigate a plot by neo-Nazis to conduct a terrorist attack on a conference about tolerance. Admittedly, Chuck Norris's powers as a leading man were fading when Top Dog came out. This was his last 90s film to be released in theaters before he chose to focus on direct-to-video releases. But boy, is it a blast. Addressing ethics and animal rights, the film remains relevant to this day. A specific scene where Wilder takes on close to 100 criminals inside a hall is especially memorable, and it'll remain in your mind forever, no matter how much you try to forget and reboot it. Such are the kinds of sequences that made audiences salute Chuck forever. Missing in Action, 1984. There aren't many POW movies better than Missing in Action. Leave no man behind is a key mantra in the military, according to Hollywood. It was even emphasized in the recent Netflix hit, War Machine, and that's what his particular movie rides on. In it, Colonel Braddock, Norris, who escaped a Vietnamese prisoner of war camp 10 years earlier, returns to the Asian country to find American soldiers listed as missing in action during the Vietnam War. Obviously, the action is the best thing about Missing in Action, but the movie towers above many other Vietnam movies by addressing something rarely talked about: the MIA issue. For years, many U.S. servicemen who participated in the war were reported to be missing in action, and it wasn't until the mid-'80s that missions to find them began, following improved relations between the U.S. and Vietnam. The movie might not educate you properly about the geopolitical aspect, but it's hella fun. Silent Rage, 1982. If you were also asked to guess whether Chuck Norris had ever made a sci-fi horror movie, you'd deny it too. Wrong. The Oklahoma-born superstar and Chun Kook Do founder starred in Silent Rage as a sheriff who goes up against a genetically enhanced serial killer. This was the age of slasher movies after all, and Norris wanted to cash in. Interestingly, the science fiction elements aren't what makes Silent Rage stand out in Chuck Norris's filmography. It's the, sex scene. Yes, Chuck Norris makes love in the movie, and at the time, fans were completely outraged. How dare he? The backslash affected him so much that he never got anywhere near a bed again for the rest of his career. Watching the movie now, one can't help but wonder, what was the big deal? The carnal action seems pretty tame by today's standards. Lone Wolf McQuade, 1983. Chuck Norris has credited Lone Wolf McQuade as a major inspiration for his 90s hit television series, Walker, Texas Ranger, and halfway into the movie, one can see why. The neo-Western action thriller stars Norris as J.J. McQuade, Chuck Norris, a no-nonsense Texas Ranger who has a pet wolf. Yeah, a pet wolf. All is well until arms dealer Raleigh Wilkes, David Carradine, decides to kidnap McQuade's daughter. This 80s flick is noted for featuring one of the best Chuck Norris fights, where, in the climactic sequence, the hero and villain decide to throw away their weapons and rely on what God gave them. Director Steve Carver previously worked with Norris on the film An Eye for an Eye, so the camaraderie was already solid. Norris has always been appreciative of the film, crediting it with turning him into a proper action star. Delta Force, 1986. Chuck Norris didn't like sharing the glory with other popular actors, especially during his peak years. But in the Delta Force, he was happy to star alongside Lee Marvin as members of a Delta Force unit who take down Lebanese terrorists who have hijacked a Boeing 707. Norris was originally meant to co-star with the legendary Charles Bronson, but the 70s action star pulled out. History buffs love the Delta Force more, especially because of how it mines its plot from two real-world events, Operation Entebbe and the Flight 847 hijacking. Better yet, this isn't one of those all-action, no-substance movies. In fact, there isn't any action until the 70-minute mark. That's a lot of restraint for a Chuck Norris movie, and the picture comes off as better because of it. The Expendables 2, 2012. Chuck Norris was a man of principle, and Sylvester Stallone went to great lengths to accommodate him in The Expendables 2. Speaking to Ain't It Cool News, the actor revealed that he had to tone things down to ensure a PG-13 rating because Norris would never have agreed to star in a movie that had swearing in the script. We thus got an amazing film about a group of mercenaries who set out to avenge the murder of a recruit. The Expendables 2 has many iconic moments, including the scene where Jean-Claude Van Damme kicks a knife into someone's heart. But it's remembered more for one Chuck Norris quote. "I heard another rumor that you were bitten by a king cobra," Stallone's character once says. "Yeah, but after 5 days of agonizing pain, the cobra died," Norris's character replies. Whoever wrote this piece of dialogue should be given an honorary Oscar. 2, actually. Return of the Dragon, 1972. Return of the Dragon was Bruce Lee's only complete directorial film and the last movie released during his lifetime. In it, the martial arts legend stars as Tang Lung, a martial artist who heads to Italy to protect his cousins and their restaurant from exploitation by a ruthless crime syndicate. Threatened, the crime organization hires a skilled fighter, Colt, Chuck Norris, to deal with Lung, resulting in an epic climactic showdown at Rome's Colosseum. This stands out as one of the rare movies in which Chuck Norris portrayed a villain. It was early in his career, so he was willing to take up anything offered to him. Despite it being his film debut, he outdid himself, delivering what is now regarded as one of the greatest fight scenes in action movie history. In the scene, Lee and Norris showcased and popularized the oblique kick. Code of Silence, 1985. Code of Silence was originally written as a potential fourth Dirty Harry film, but was later dismissed as unworthy. Orion Pictures later purchased the script that would become one of Chuck Norris's most critically acclaimed films. In the neo-noir action thriller, Norris stars as an honor-driven lawman forced to battle against drug lords and corruption in his own department. Many Chuck Norris fans believe he gave his greatest ever performance in Code of Silence. Indeed, he doesn't just shoot and punch. He demonstrates some real acting skills, even looking like he is about to cry at one point. Don't do it, Chuck. It helps that the script is so well written and that the movie is so well directed. Filmmaker Andrew Davis forever appreciates the flick for helping him get Hollywood's attention. He would later go on to make hits like Under Siege and The Fugitive. Invasion USA, 1985. Forget Die Hard. Chuck Norris made the greatest Christmas action movie. I watched Invasion USA more than 15 years after it came out, but I remember grabbing 2 toy guns and wearing a light blue pair of dungarees so that I would look the way Chuck Norris did in the movie. Here, he is Matt Hunter, a Uzi-loving former CIA operative taking on Soviet terrorists who chose to attack America during the festive season. Die Hard only mentions Christmas. Invasion USA shows the festivities. Before hell breaks loose, we are taken through a suburban neighborhood on Christmas Eve. A dad is setting up a Christmas tree with his kids, 2 teens kissing inside a car, and so on. Then the bad dudes arrive, and one of them has a bazooka. Why? Why? Don't worry. Norris takes care of the problem with his 2 Uzis. This is also the film in which the actor delivers his most memorable quote. "I am gonna hit you with so many rights you are going to beg for a left." Friends, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this ranking. And I want to emphasize that it's a subjective ranking, as everyone has their own list of the actor's films. Also, tell me which of his films made the biggest impression on you, and don't forget to say a little prayer for the repose of his soul.